Hey, what is going on? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see, we're back at it with the power forwards tier list. This one obviously proceeding the PG's, shooting guards, and small forwards tier list. So if you guys want to see those links, those will be down in the description. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video, as well as comment down below who's your favorite card that you can run at the power forward right now that you guys have used. Love hearing your guys' previous ones from all the other lists, and make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 10k subscribers. So obviously we got to start it off with the D tier. That's just kind of how it goes. We show you guys all of the don't use cards basically. First off, here they are, a few of them that we threw in here for the D tier. Tom Heinsohn, just wanted to say RIP to my guy, another NBA legend gone. Sad to see, but sadly your card's kind of bad. Feels weird saying that, but just another card that's very defensive heavy, with a little bit of post game, and that's really about it. And that's really why the card isn't great. Although if you do need a defender, I guess he's okay. Jeff Foster is a power forward center with like a 49 speed or something like that. Like, dude cannot move. I did his XP challenges, and dude literally cannot move down a court. It is so bad. Tom Sanders, same thing as Tom Heinsohn. Super heavy defensive card, but really can't do too much else. Drew Gooden, just not great. Okay, I think is a stretch, but why else do you really use it? Rui Hachimura, one of the reward cards. That's why I threw him in here, but there's really no reason to really run him at the 4, let alone at the 3 either. Only badges are in finishing and then silver post spin technician, and it's like, why? Terrible defense, terrible defense, horrible playmaking, an okay rebounder, but it's like, yeah, no reason to use Rui. Hopefully we get a better version of him later down in the year, because I love him, but this emerald card, it's cheeks, man, it's cheeks. Starting off in the C tier, we have this Emerald Jeff Green. If I'm being honest, Jeff Green is probably my favorite Emerald to use in the entire game right now. Jeff Green is just great. It's just severely hindered by lack of badges. Like, only has bronze clamps, only has bronze quick first step. Boosted up, those could be great. Only has a few shooting badges, but has catch and shoot. But again, only bronze. Only badges that he has above silver are like off-ball pass trapper and some really nice gold finishing badges. And he's got solid speed, solid defense, really good driving dunk, and a really nice quality jump shot. So Jeff Green's great for an emerald, but in terms of total power forwards, he's okay. Next up, we have Brian Scalibrini, who is just one of those guys that you throw in to be a stretch. Basically about it. Also has bronze clamps. So he can play a little bit of defense, which is nice, a little bit of defense, but you're really just going to be shooting, and you can badge up him however you want. He can get every badge in the entire game, but he's going to do what he's going to do, shoot, kind of play defense. There's no reason to really throw badges into him. He's decent. Next up, Udonis Haslam, insane rebounder, pretty good defensive card, as well as a nice finisher, but absolutely no shooting outside of the mid-range, and I just feel like, at the power forward, there's really no reason to use a card that is all inside presence. I feel like your power forward usually sits corner if you're on a 5-out, or usually is like your pick and pop guy, where your center's your pick and roll guy. So it's a power forward that really can't shoot. I just don't see too much reason in it. Next is this Ruby Jaron Jackson Jr., who actually kind of surprised me a little bit. Now, Jaron has a little bit of a stretchability, which is great, but defense is definitely lacking. And he does have a good stretchability, but doesn't have the most amazing badges for it outside of the ones that he does have. Finishing is okay. Playmaking and post game is like, meh. I just kind of like that he was a bit of a stretch big. Could kind of play defense, could kind of rebound well. But he's supposed to play like a Giannis and really just doesn't. Next up, we have Emerald Jared Jeffries. Kind of just one of those guys that comes in, plays some really solid defense, and is really good for an Emerald card. But in terms of like general power forwards, isn't the most amazing. But comes in there, plays some good defense, has bronze clamps as a power forward, which is pretty nice at the Emerald, and has bronze catch and shoot to help out with the middies. And he does have a 74 shot 3, so that's quality, but just doesn't have the badges to back up his pretty good stats. Next up, Danny Manning. Yeah. Now, Danny, they changed up his base 11 jump shot to Amari Stoudemire, which honestly isn't that big of an L. I actually kind of like it. But Danny Manning is one of those cards that has insane stats, but really has terrible badges. So it's kind of like, yeah, we can play good interior defense, we can rebound well, but we don't have any sort of intimidator or rebound chaser, so it's going to be a little bit tough. Danny Manning's a good card with an amazing jump shot, but just he's missing a lot, and I mean a lot of key badges. Next, we have Diamond Dennis Rodman, probably the worst lock-in reward that we may have ever gotten. Dennis Rodman is terrible. 6'7" at the power forward isn't a horrible height, but all of his badges are in defense, and it doesn't even come with clamps or pogo stick or post move lockdown. Like, what were they thinking? And then has no badges in anything but a few finishing. Don't lock in for Dennis Rodman. Don't use Dennis Rodman. Don't do anything with Dennis Rodman. Stay away from this card. And last but not least is Bobby Jones, who is just basically a Ruby version of Dennis Rodman. So same things apply. Can't really do anything on offense, but is an insane defender. Starting off with the B tier, we do have Bailey Howell. I still think very solid in the B tier. Bailey Howell is just great. 6'7" is an okay height at the power forward. Like, it's good, but it's not amazing. The trade break base is beautiful. Has silver clamps, which is nice, and gold intimidator. But a thing that I think hurts me a little bit is his lack of quick first step, because you kind of want to use Bailey Howell purely offensively. You know, getting the basket and doing a lot of things really well with him. Bailey Howell is still an amazing card, and with the trade break base, I really don't think it's that possible to be horrible. But something about him just a little mediocre to me. And it might be the fact that, you know, he's missing like a flex release and Deadeye, so you do have to add those. So I think maybe with those added, you could maybe put him into A, but I'm going to leave him into top of B tier. Because if you guys didn't know, I attempted to left-right these very roughly, so don't take it too seriously. But I did put Bailey Howell at the top of the B tier, because I definitely think he is top tier when it comes to, you know, everybody else that's in his. Next up is Amethyst Andre Karalinko. Now, Andre Karalinko is one of those guys that I feel like you either love him or hate him this year because of his jump shot. I don't think it's horrible per se, but it's not amazing. It's definitely not amazing. It's better on current gen as well as it is on next gen. It's pretty bad on next gen, so that'll also influence your decision. But Andre Karalinko is another guy like a Dennis Rodman or Bobby Jones that actually comes with gold clamps that can play insane defense, but AK still has a pretty solid offensive game, has okay dunking stats, has a really nice midi of an 88 and a really nice 3 of an 80, and can also speed boost if you wanted to. Missing shooting badges, but the fact that he can do things on offense, I think puts him a tier above Dennis and Bobby Jones. Next up is Tom Gugliatta Googs. My guy is honestly a demon. I love Tom Googs. 6'9", has some solid defense, as like in terms of like inside, not exactly outside. Has silver quick first step, which is great. Has a nice, you know, set of basic shooting badges with the ability to get all of the other ones, and really nice finishing stats along with, or badges, along with a 90 standing dunk, 85 driving dunk. Googs, just a great card. And again, a lot of people sleep on the fact that he has the ability to shoot, and if you get his release down, you can really catch some people off guard, which is great. Next up, we have Sharif Abdul Rahim, who I actually used for quite a while as my power forward. And I think the great thing about Sharif is just that he has the ability to space the floor, as well as has bronze clamps to kind of just hold his own a little bit on defense, which can be upgraded, and some nice finishing. He has some really good post game as well, if you wanted to abuse his Hall of Fame post spin technician, which is cool. Just good interior defense, good rebounding, has silver intimidator, which is nice, decent speed, decent shooting, with a nice release. So low-key, I'm not mad. Quite late, Sharif Abdul Rahim, and he's a free card, which is even better. Next up, we have Diamond Derrick Coleman. Derrick Coleman kind of fits again with that, I guess a little bit more of a back to the basket kind of, I guess, guy at the power forward. But the main thing that I think hurts is Derrick Coleman, for me at least, even when badged up, is the fact that he has like a 63 speed. Like, that is tough. Has some nice finishing stats, has some nice finishing, you know, badges, has some really good shooting badges, along with gold catch and shoot and Hall of Fame pick and popper, has Hall of Fame pick, brick wall and moving chalk, as well as the ability to get any badge in the game besides steady shooter, and can't add any finishing badges either. But he's a great card. I just really hate how slow he is. And I think a lot of people like to have a slower center and a really fast power forward. You know, something like a, you know, Tom Googs, who has like an at 76 or 78 speed, something like that. You know, you want a faster power forward. Slower center is okay. 63 speed, it's a little too slow for me. Next up, we have Ruby Thurl Bailey. Absolutely love this Thurl Bailey card. just because he's a killer from mid-range. 6'11" is great. Some solid defensive badges, solid playmaking, solid shooting, solid finishing for a power forward. The only thing that sucks is you can't add any badges whatsoever, so that's a little bit tough for, him. That's a little bit. Now, I would have loved if Thurl Bailey could be kind of like a 5-man, not a 4. He's okay as a 4, but again, not having any ability to shoot with a 65-3 really, I think, hurts him. But it's still a great card. It's still a great budget option to run at the 4. So overall, solid card. Next up, we have Buck Williams, who again, to me, is kind of like a Dennis Rodman or Bobby Jones guy, but has actually some offensive capabilities. He has some really nice finishing badges, has silver quick first step, as well as like a 86 midi, which is solid. Like, that's solid. No shooting badges to help out, but 86 midi is good enough to at least make it a little bit of a threat, I guess I should say. Also comes with Hall of Fame rebound chaser, pogo stick, intimidator, and tireless defender on top of his gold clamps, which is amazing. And Buck Williams is just a great card. Again, for free is nice, but the lack of shooting ability at the 4 does hurt. I think Buck Williams is okay as a center, just because of his really nice defense, but 6'8" is a little bit short, so it's an iffy one. Next up, we have Pink Diamond Elvin Hayes, a card from the exchange that I'm just not a fan of. Elvin Hayes, again, another one of those back-to-the-basket kind of big men who I personally just don't think really works as a power forward in this kind of environment in 2K that we have. Just has an okay shot 3 of a 70, which is fine, and a Ryan Anderson jump shot, which is fine, but he really thrives in the post, getting boards, and that's really about it. And I just not a fan. I'm personally not a fan. And last but not least, we do have Diamond Carlos Boozer, who I think is just all around again solid, but like Elvin Hayes, is more of that, I guess, back to the basket, get into the post kind of guy. I love his Hall of Fame Hot Swing Hunter and his 92 mid-range. That's actually amazing. Has some solid defense interior, but nothing on the perimeter, and good finishing. And it's actually a pretty slept-on card, but you have to get him from the promo pack, so it's a little bit tough. Carlos Boozer, interesting card. Now, starting off the A tier, we have Pink Diamond Josh Smith. This Josh Smith card, absolutely insane. I love this Josh Smith card. Josh Smith, 6'9", is amazing size for the power forward, and he kind of encapsulates everything that I think a power forward should be. Has solid all-around defense, post, interior, perimeter, everything like that. Good steal, good block, has Hall of Fame intimidator, gold clamps, amazing badges, including gold post move lockdown, which is great. Has gold quick first step, solid shooting badges with a 79-3. They're not going to be the most amazing shooter. He's not going to be insane. He's not going to be, lockdown greens every single time, but he has a great release and good badges like catch and shoot and flexible release that are good enough to hit consistently. Really good finishing as well. It's a 96 driving dunk, great finishing badges, good speed. Overall, just great. Josh Smith is a beautiful power forward, and low-key could have been an S-tier selection because he's that good, but I did put him high A. But Josh Smith is amazing. And next up, we have Pink Diamond Bob Love. Again, a card like Josh Smith that I kind of feel like is just a beautiful power forward because of his great interior and perimeter defense, the ability to still hit a good shot. Has the Amar Stoudemire jump shot, which is great. Has a 79 shot 3, again, great. Good post game, good finishing, everything like that. Hall of Fame intimidator, gold clamps, add quick first step, add Hot Zone Hunter, add corner specialist, add Deadeye. You got a beautiful card to run at the power forward. Bob Love is just great. Next up, Boris Dio. Again, one of my favorite cards in the game, man. This Boris Dio, Lord, is he amazing. 6'8" is great. He's actually quite cheap as well. Solid defense, solid playmaking, solid shooting, solid finishing. It's the jump shot 40 base, which is beautiful. You can add range onto my guy, as well as quick first step. Like, come on, this Boris Dio is great, and I will not take any slander of moving him below, the A tier. He perfectly belongs in A. Absolutely love Boris Dio. Next up, Pink Diamond Amari Stoudemire. Didn't get a chance to use him until recently, but this Amari is actually pretty nice. Now, I think he plays better defense than his stats would suggest, but you still need to badge that defense out, like bad. This is his defense. It's good at the interior, but on the perimeter, it's absolutely horrible. But he is just such a good offensive card that it's kind of scary. 79 shot 3 is actually pretty decent, especially off catch, even though he doesn't have catch and shoot, and his finishing is just godly. Ran a bunch of pick and rolls with this Amari Stoudemire, Steph Curry pick and roll, gave it down to him, and there wasn't anybody that was stopping the contact dunks right now. If they end up nerfing contact dunks or buffing up, interior defense, Amari Stoudemire is probably going to take a big hit, but at this current point in time, the rim run with Amari, unreal. Next up, we have Diamond Kevin Love, who I think is definitely better suited as a stretch 5 badged out. Kevin Love is great with the Hall of Fame catch and shoot, corner splashes, rebound chaser, and box, as well as gold range extender. Really to just kind of, I guess, kill it as that pick and pop guy or just stretch big. Now, the thing is, you can add every single defensive badge in the game as well as boost the ones he already has. So you can add clamps, intimidator, post move lockdown, things like that to your Kevin Love, and boom, you have a perfect power forward. A badged out Kevin Love is a great forward, it's a great 5-man, but I think a badged out Kevin Love as like the 5 to really space the floor out works beautiful, but he's still an amazing power forward. Next up, we have Diamond David West. David West was one that actually has been pretty garbage in previous years, but David West this year I think is actually really solid. Has Hall of Fame hot zoner, which is great, especially that considering he has 2 hot zones in the corners, and has the jump shot for base. Solid defense, including intimidator, as well as being able to get any of them upgraded, as well as being able to get any shooting badge and finishing badge. So you could have a David West with gold range. Like, doesn't sound too bad. Now, the one thing that I really hate about this David West is the fact that he's slow. Like, he is slow as hell. But a badged up David West is a demon and is insane off catch and shoot, especially with that Hall of Fame hot 200. So I had to show him some love. Next up, we have the Diamond Larry Johnson. I've kind of covered this Larry Johnson a good bit. Very slept on card that can kind of just do a little bit of everything. Decent size for the power forward. Insane finishing, insane shooting with Hall of Fame hot 100, gold quick first step already, and the ability to add clamps and range extender onto him. Badged up, this guy's insane. Has a Danny Green jump shot, money off catch, and is a solid dynamic duo with Alonzo Mourning if you did want to run them. But Larry Johnson, just a beast, can really do it all, and can catch a lot of people off guard because he catches bodies. And then last but not least, into the A tier, we do have Chris Webber, who I do think is kind of, losing his way, at least with me a little bit. Chris Webber is great. Has good size at 6'9" and a 7'3" wingspan, which is great. 3 Hall of Fame badges, including rebound chaser. But I think the one thing that is holding this Chris Webber into the A tier for me is the fact that you can badge him up to make him yours. You could give this Chris Webber any badge in the game. So anything that he's lacking, you can fix. So yeah, basically he's fine. And has the jump shot 22. So I think a non-badged out Chris Webber definitely is in the B tier, but if you badge him out correctly and really give him all that, he can definitely be an A, and some could even argue into S, but I'm going to throw him right in the middle at the A tier. I think that's a very solid ranking. And last but not least, we have the A tier. Obviously, our first guy, Pink Diamond Blake, like, you know it. If you guys have, done the XP grind and got Blake Griffin, you know that this card's insane. I'm still working my way over there. Should have level 38 tonight, working towards 39. And Blake Griffin is just insane. He's 6'10", is one of the best finishers in the entire game, has a solid jump shot with some amazing shooting badges, just got gold quick first step, and has insane defense. The one thing you need to add is, two things you need to add are Intimidator and Clamps. You add those 2 badges to your Blake Griffin, and it is over. You can even add like a pick dodger if you wanted to, but other than that, he is over. If you really wanted to capitalize on how insane Blake Griffin could be, you can add a gold range extender to him, and then it's over. Also a shoe for +3 ball handle, and now he can speed boost. Not that it's even really that necessary, but Blake Griffin, insane. Next up, Tim Duncan, been a staple in the S tier for power forwards, for centers. For anybody that thinks that this Tim Duncan is booty cheeks, you need to pick him up and actually try him out for yourself. Because, Lord, nobody scores on him, nobody gets by him, and he is money off the catch. That Hall of Fame catch and shoot and Hall of Fame corner specialists are insane. He's basically the best 5-out power forward center that you really could use, especially if you badge up his range center. Not that I really think you need to, because, Lord, he's insane. And once you get used to that Tim Duncan release, it's fine. I use the shot stick personally, and it's really no problem at all to green shots with him. So, Tim Duncan, insane pick. Same thing with Draymond Green. I think he's just, again, one of the best 5-out big men that you could use in the entire game right now. Solid jump shot, awesome defense. You can badge him out perfectly to add things. Like what is it? Quick first step, range extender, things like that to really capitalize on your Draymond Green. But Hall of Fame intimidator, defensive leader, and dimer on your power forward center. It don't get better than that. Next up is the Pink Diamond Kevin Garnett, who I wasn't too big of a fan of until I actually used him. And this Kevin Garnett, I said Durant, Lord help me, plays insane defense, like actually insane defense, is amazing in the post, off catch. He's actually really money, and if you run a 5-out, get him in the corner, actually really solid. And you can add corner specials, a decently cheap badge to really capitalize on that. Finishing is insane, and overall just does everything really, really well, as well as having some really decent speed. I slept on his card, high key, but Kevin Garnett is actually super, super solid. And last but not least, we have Zion Williamson, one of the only cards that, even though he's undersized, I think he's still an insane power forward. Only 6'6", but this Zion Williamson at this point in the game is like a top 3, maybe even top 2 card in the game. I still think Curry is number 1, but Zion is like really close there. Zion, 7 Hall of Fame badges, Hall of Fame catch and shoot, has gold range, has some insane finishing badges, has gold quick first step and gold clamps. Like, there's low-key really not anything that you need to add to this Zion to make him amazing. You can just add badges to make him even more overpowered, which is just insane. Only thing that I don't like is his tendencies. Like, keeping it a buck, his tendencies are ass, and his jump shot is pretty bad too. But overall, very, very, very solid card, although I do think he's better as a 3. So that is the end of our power forwards tier list. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section below. Remember that I tried to roughly put them into left to right. I tried to put everybody that I thought was best at their tier definitely on this side, and whoever was worst over here. But again, it's rough rankings, rough rankings, left to right, remember. Make sure you guys like if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new. We are on there to 10K subscribers. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video.